Alright, I'm basically telling you how to learn to be active during the day, right? And for instance, right now what's driving me mad is that there's like Erich Neumann running in the background, History and Origins of Consciousness, which is like a very nice piece of advice on the spiritual path and what it means to be a man or a hero. And as I've watched a lot of Dragon Ball and Naruto and One Piece, I'm familiar with the concept of the ego, and I could realize that there was something that I could do with the hero, the ego. Yeah, maybe that as well. Like, how does that connect? That's something I can certainly talk about. How does the ego connect with the hero? Because you pride yourself to help others. And I realized that what I really have to do is I have to always stay in motion. Because today, for instance, I'm just at home. I don't want to leave until maybe in an hour. So I'm preparing myself. And a better way to prepare yourself than just sit around and wait is to actually do something active, which is be creative, clean your apartment, or just do something like this. Just stand. Take away your abilities to sit and slouch off. Right? I have no comfortable chairs here, and I have no comfortable sofas, so everywhere I sit it's like very bad for my back, which is why I realize I have to just move more and more, and I never even have to leave the house for that. I can stay at home and I can just keep doing this until my shoulder is getting better, because I have a real sore shoulder because I've just been doing nothing. But if I do this for 20 minutes every day, this is like skiing, right? I can imagine I'm skiing, right? It's like if I'm not skiing but I want to ski, I can keep doing this. And then that's also a form of dancing, right? Like, I'm dancing with strength, I have a strong spirit, and I'm channeling this into movement, and then I see movement as art. And that's the whole idea where you want to get to, that movement actually becomes habit. And even there's such a strong desire that you just cannot stop with it anymore. And every time I meet people, they say, chill, or, stop moving so much. And then I go and I move somewhere else. But then I also start slouching off because everybody tries to stop you, and that just pisses you off. And so you're like, I'm running full charge through my life. When I smoke, I'm just, I just want to move. There's so much to give, there's so much to do. And everybody's like, yeah, this is going to be the rest of my life. And I was like, yeah, this is going to be my rest of my life. Awesome engagement with life rather than just sitting around doing nothing, if you know what I mean. And it just drives me nuts to see how stupid some people are that just never move at all unless somebody tells them to. And when you tell them, they don't want to move because they feel too weak. It's like, do you want to accept the teaching? Or do you want to keep sitting around? It's like, you gotta keep moving, man. As nice as it is to just spend time with your family, you also have to take responsibility and just make sure that you're prepared for what's coming, because you never know. Sickness, disease, accidents, or also insane fame or something. Increasing attention on your person. That's something scary that you have to work with if you want to. Now I can turn it off. Hey, cheers, man. I just was too lazy. I wanted to stand at the computer and now I'm stuck. But I think you appreciate the effort. Cheers. Shit. Anyway, that's just what I wanted to say, because now I'm busy doing something else. Because that's also part of the job, right? You have to keep going. And now I just put because I'm making this soup, right? And I brought it to a boil again. And that sometimes stresses me a little, but it's also good, right? You know, if I occupy myself with making food, then I have a job to do, right? It's like, okay, this I can do. And this is part of my raw art. Shit. I always have to, I name these things. I like it. This is raw art exhibit number 2. And I like to call it exhibit because I consider my gallery as an art gallery. And I think that's pretty cool, but sometimes I lose track of how I name things. So maybe what I should do is keep an image of the file that I extracted, or the name, right? And then I always know where I am. Or maybe I just make a list on a piece of paper, and maybe that's then the way to go. It's really hard to say, but I like saying it anyway, because when I say it, then I'm gonna find ways, and I'm just seeing what's coming, and I fucking love it, It's like, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, because it's so nice. And so, how could I ever be sad about having discovered this place in myself if I see how it motivates me to keep going and to keep producing content on such a high level, with such a high quality and such a precision that, it sometimes scares me a little. Holy crap, like, that's what you can do? What could you do if people would start working together with you? In a community, like, this thing would go insane, my friend. But that only works if I have my own funding. I realize that, because as long as I'm depending on other people for money, we will never do shit. Because people have no money, and I have seen a way through. If I keep doing it like this while relying on the support of my family, I know that, I'm paying back already tenfold of what I'm getting, or what I think I might get. And the reason why I invest so much time and effort into bringing this thing to a close is because I realize that the freedom movement needs money. We need money, that's a fact. Because if we don't have money, then who's going to support all these projects and, support all this change? Because the money that flows into, through tax funds, that's all being used simply for maintaining the basic function of the system, which is create a safe environment where you've got everything you need, which is food, which is housing, which is fuel, and which are means to engage with each other. And the state itself cannot be asked to also take care of the emotional aspect of being a society, which is why if you're selfish with your resources, whether that is emotional resources, the love you're able to give, or financial resources, then this society will keep withering away into some, other depression. While what we want to do in the freedom or spiritual movement is to actually lift humanity to a state where they can say, yes, we have a state, but we also take care of ourselves. And that's what I believe they have understood in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands. That they can heal with cannabis. That it is possible to heal with cannabis. And I think if you understand this, there's a lot of freedom to be gained, if you know what I mean. Because if you understand that you can use cannabis in a recreative way, that you basically recreate your suffering into art, into, you know, cooking awesome food, into, you know, making things such as, I mean, you can see anything as art yourself, but not like in a way like, oh, look how beautiful I am, but more in a kind of, I see that there are beautiful things in me, but also dark things. And how art works, or whatever you do, is it's working with contrasts. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna do it. Sometimes I just have to be a little bit quiet. So you just have to accept it. And I think that's then what is called respect. Because if you want to know what I have to give, you have to spend time with it to understand what it is that I'm actually saying. And sometimes I'm really questioning why I post so many things at the same time. And the conclusion that I came to is that I can, right? You know, that's what I got also from a friend, right? He said he took holidays, and then he asked me why, and then he said, because I can, man. So today I go to the cinema and I watch Ariel because I can. Right, and now I found a smart way again of naming things, because if I'm going in a row, let's say I copy this whole section and it's called Raw Art Exhibit number 2, and then I upload the next one, then all I have to do is replace the 2 with a 3. But because I'm kind of like forgetful, when I get to 4, I'm not sure anymore, right? If there's still a 2, I'm not sure if it's now 5 or 3. But if I copy the whole thing again after I replace the number, now I copied it, so next time I know it's just +1, so then it's 5, you know? I'm a little bit stupid with certain things, because also when I smoke, I get a little bit forgetful, but smoking helps me to create art. So now all I have to remember is the last one was a 4, now I have to take 5, because otherwise I get uncertain. And I hate it, which means I had to find, like, you know, now it's a 4, I have to do a 5, now I copy the whole thing again, turn off comments and hide like counts. I just do it to piss people off a little and to show them, you know, I have no need for your opinions or your glorifications. You know, I just want to show this to you. And now I know last one was 4, now it's 5. So I'm just making sure I see the number a couple of times. And that's basically when I, you know, talk about what Jake Sul, now that was a 6, you see? That's now, I was already one step further. And that's of course then also the predicament that we are often facing. That we forget 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You see, I was right. And sometimes then I remember, oh man, you weren't paying attention. But of course I can check here. And now it's 7. And I think I soon have to start getting ready. But that's okay. You know, so when you want to be creative or an artist, you have to find things that help you to push through and to keep doing what you said you wanted to do. So if I want to be an artist, but I never do anything, then I will never be an artist. If you want to be an artist, you have to start. And you have to keep going. And now I have to be somewhere in about an hour. and I like to arrive at the cinema always a bit earlier. But I can just take my time. But if I start now, I don't have to rush it, and then I can relax into walking there, which is something that I would appreciate, to be honest. And just something I wanted to show you, because I like doing these things. And a part of me says, you should better keep this private, because maybe you're becoming a celebrity and then people just gonna copy you all the time, and you would probably hate that. Here, you know what this is? Copyright claims ahead. Copyright claims ahead. Yeah, they're gonna come with copyright claims my way. I think I have to take out all the videos where I use music from other people. Maybe even content in general. But I have no problem with that, because I can always create new things, right? But I don't think actually I have to do that. I think I'm okay. They say if I don't monetize it, right? And maybe, people are gonna be honored that I'm using their content to make things. I think that could actually be, which is an interesting thing to see. Always make sure I delete whatever is left over from something, including this. No, it's gone, but I have it somewhere else still. Sometimes it makes me a bit sad to delete things. This is 1 hour, man. Ramdas. Yeah, and that's why I keep listening also with a bit of distance. I keep going back to the spiritual masters that I have accepted into teaching me, like Ramdas and such. And yeah, just check out this. I got those from a friend. And now I also have a reason to close my laptop. Because look at this, man. I never even knew these things exist. So, blessed are the friends that give you this at the age of 34. And that feel free to live their inner child to an insane amount. Like, to the point where people have trouble understanding whether you're a man or a child, right? I mean, when you've managed to get there to just be sometimes a little bit stupid, I think then you can say, I think I'm starting to understand what a free man would have felt like in ancient times. Right, it's like soup, yeah? Like I said, I'm going to heat it up again later, and then it's going to be really nice and soft. So I really like slow food. I also like the prospect of going to the cinema now, while it still remains to be a challenge. I have created an insane amount of things, like movies and stuff. And I feel like I can allow myself to do this now. Right, so nobody but me can actually evaluate how much I worked, and how much I did, and how much I can allow myself to relax into doing things that I feel like doing, because, I resisted doing them for some time, right? It's like I resisted watching movies. I resisted doing certain things. And now I feel like, right, once in a while I can allow myself to go to the movies and watch Ariel. This may come off weird. I'm still wearing underwear. You know, sex sells, right? Maybe I have to cut this out. Or just like pixel it. Like really like seriously pixel it. Because that's the thing, if you produce content like I am, you never know what they're gonna make out of it, right? They may say, yeah, cool guy, and they may say, you know, he's dangerous. But I think what I'm showing is actually something nice. But the fear stays all the same. Okay, air is fresh. Air is fresh. Oh, I'm still recording. Yeah, I'm just always thinking of what to wear. Always thinking of what to wear. And sometimes I'm not sure. But I think yeah. Yeah, plus a little bit of discomfort is always nice, because what I just said, you know, you can spend your whole day at home. But when I'm honest, I would say that the only reason I can enjoy being at home is because I force myself to also leave the house. Which goes to say I set myself tasks, such as go to the park, meet with a friend, right? It's like go see your family, for instance. It's like, you know, whatever you want, man. Learn to play chess, right? Play a wind-up night or something. You know, manage to get through Mario without cheating, right? With like properly playing the game level by level. You know, these are goals that you could set yourself. And I think I would also need these kinds of things to just allow myself to be a little bit like free from what I think everybody else wants from me, whatever it is, right? You know, what I mean is like, whether that is sex or time or food or money or attention. Or answers. You know, in a way it doesn't matter. The question is, what do you want to invest yourself into? And today I want to invest myself into going to the park, right? Which is not what I wanted to say, but here it is, right? That's part of the game of truth, right? That's part of my path. Sometimes then I say things and I thought I was actually doing something else, or I was avoiding doing something else. But now I realized, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pack my tea, and I'm gonna pack some water, then I'm going to the park later. And then I'll play some frisbee golf, or maybe a friend is there, right? So I'm gonna watch a movie probably until 7. I don't think that Ariel is too long. Then I'll eat my popcorn and drink a Coke or something. And then I'm going to see. I may actually just drink a beer. I don't think they will. I think that could be something for today. But it's also hard to say, because if I drink a beer I get like a little bit shaky, which is why I think I shall refrain from doing so. Which is honest advice from myself to ourselves, which includes me, of course. And another good advice is, like, if you drink 1 coffee a day, that's already a little bit too acidic. Which is why I counteracted, right? I drink 1 coffee a day. I make it Americano style, which is like I make an espresso, and then, okay, I either put like hot oat milk on top and like stevia sugar, or I put just hot water and stevia sugar. And cardamom I usually use as a spice to enhance the uplifting qualities of the coffee. And it makes it a little bit more digestible, which is something you can advise yourself to attempt. To have a diet that's just a little bit more gentle on yourself. So when you make food, just make like a soup sometimes, maybe, like a broth style. So I've just shown you some. You know, just start doing these things. It's really not that hard. And there are so many recipes online. You know, if you like food blogs, you can also read about these things where people explain stuff. And I thought of writing a book, but maybe it would be easier to just... But I don't want to post too much at the moment. Plus, I want some of my content to be actually exclusive, which is why it makes sense to post my articles into books instead. Because you also have to see where you land in the end, or where you end up. And I always said I never want to accept money from YouTube, however much sense it may make, because I would jeopardize what I'm trying to sell, which is truth, by receiving money from advertisements which just show like a very, very, very narrow approach to what you can do to alleviate your suffering or something, right? It's like, buy this to feel happy. I just don't want that. You know, I don't want to receive money from shifty things. You know, if you want to donate, go to my website. You can donate money. But you can't buy me. Because it's an investment. I like what he's doing. And if I have something to give to him, you know, I'm going to receive back. You know, I've been a little bit shifty recently. And now I have to get back to, you know, me. And that means, you know, I wear the yellow hat today. I dress like this, which I like. I feel powerful like this, it's good. Powerful clothes are important. Cheers, whatever. I'm gonna film outside again, but whenever, wherever. This is the time now. Maybe I shall. I have no space on my hard drive anymore. Peace out.